Okay, well, hi. Just thought I'd come along and share a little something with you that popped up today when I was watching a couple of shows that I normally watch. And I thought, let me actually share what was a couple of statements by reporters that just made me go, "What the hell is going on?" Because we're in a whole new world. So first is Yamiche Alcindor from NPR, and here's what she's got. Oh, hold on, let me just make sure. Yeah,
the Clinton people sort of did, which nobody wanted to go. Your thoughts?
I mean, the president is, of course, trying to make really try to get credit for the fact that he's the president and that he's considered the commander in chief and that he's really trying to prioritize the military. But I should tell you, here in London, I've talked to so many people, mostly protesters of the president, who have really put Donald Trump in a global, in a global window. They've said he's not just someone who might be problematic for the United States. What he is a global symbol for fascism and far-right extreme thoughts. And I think that's in some ways
fascism?
The U.S. Fascism.
Think about that a minute. For fascism and far-right thought. In England, they got it right. Why is it we can't get that right here? Because that's exactly what the man is. He is pure hate. He's a narcissistic asshole who doesn't understand anything that's constitutional because he thinks he's a dictator.
If they look at our president elected in this country just 3 years ago, as a fascist?
Yeah, and there are people who have said, again, these are protesters, people who weren't happy with Donald Trump and came out in the streets. They told me that they were worried about the fact that he was over here talking to Boris Johnson, talking to Neil Farage, talking to these people that they hope are fringe characters in their own country, and they don't want the president here, they think, spreading his ideology. So that was something that, as an American, some might take people aback, the idea that when the American president comes, they don't think democracy and freedom. What they think is racism.
Racism
is really a symbol of all the things that are wrong in the world.
And hate and everything that's wrong in the world. Wow. So we went from Obama to that. And I might even do another one and show you another thing that popped up that's like, oh my God, Obama's like still worldwide got this huge yay and
wonderful. When asked about America's problem with gun violence by Piers Morgan.
I stopped it there, and I probably should have kept going, but it's just, think about that.
People, just someone who might be problematic for the. I've talked to so many people, mostly protesters of the president, who have really put Donald Trump in a global, in a global window. They've said he's not just someone who might be problematic for the United States. What he is a global symbol for fascism and far-right extreme thoughts. And I think.
Wow. That interview today with Piers Morgan was probably also one of the stupidest things I've ever seen, because it just makes sure that our every excuse I did. Next.
Destroyer, the USS John McCain, during his trip to Japan.
I'm not even sure. First of all, I didn't know anything about it, but I'm not even sure it happened. Somebody said they're painting the ship and they have the tarpaulins and they're painting the ship and they have tarpaulins all over the place. I have no idea if it happened or not. I hear it's fake news, but maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But again, I don't talk about John McCain unless somebody asks me about him.
Well, Trump now says it didn't happen, but the U.S. Navy confirmed that a request was indeed made from the White House to hide the ship from Trump's view. It's all on the record. In fact, Trump's acting chief of staff and head of the OMB also said it happened.
The ship was originally named for his grandfather and father. But this narcissistic asshole that we have, that we just said, is a pure and simple vision of hate, gets triggered by a man who's been dead for 11 months.
Are you confident that it was nobody in the White House or a White House advance person that made the request to the Navy to cover up the USS John McCain?
Oh, no, I absolutely believe it was probably somebody in the advance team. The fact that some 23 or 24-year-old person on the advance team went to that site and said, oh, my goodness, there's the John McCain. We all know how the president feels about the former senator. Maybe that's not the best backdrop. Can somebody look into moving it? That's not an original thing to
Seriously?
ask.
Seriously?
I'm not even sure. First of all, I didn't know anything about it, but
Bullshit. You knew about it. You ordered it in your own way, just like mobsters do. You don't say it, you say shit around it.
I'm not even sure it happened. Somebody said they're painting the ship and they have the tarpaulins and they're painting
The what? The what, huh?
the ship and they have tarpaulins all over the place.
What?
I have no idea if it happened or not.
Tarps?
Fake news. But maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But again, I don't talk.
No. The only fake news is shit that comes out of your mouth. That's what we found. I mean, if it came out of your mouth, 10 to 1, it is a lie. Because you got, I think, 11,000 or more. Wow. I mean, it's amazing.
Talk about John McCain unless somebody asks me about him.
Well, Trump now says it didn't happen, but the U.S. Navy confirmed that a request was indeed made from the White House to hide the ship from Trump's view. It's all on the record. In fact, Trump's acting chief of staff and head of the OMB also said it happened.
I won't play it again, but it's amazing that this shit is what we put up with when he's gone across the pond for a few days. And this is what we get.
You're a lying sack of crap. You're a lying sack of crap. You're a lying, scheming, stinking, nasty sack of liquid crap.
That's what he is.
First, he suggested he didn't serve because he wasn't a fan. That was his word. He wasn't a fan.
Now let's move on to Donald Trump and the Piers Morgan interview and why he couldn't handle Vietnam. Now tonight's Rachel Maddow was all about how Nixon was trying to get us into Cambodia at this time. Now, about in 74, 73, 74, we would have been about 3 to 5 months ago. So we're still pretty much running along the same lines as Nixon. So it's just, this guy is really dirty and really public about it.
Of the Vietnam War. Then he claimed that nobody had ever heard of Vietnam at the time. And finally, Trump said that he has now atoned for dodging the war, dodging the draft, by increasing the military's budget as president.
So, he's atoned for it by giving more. Okay.
You were not able to serve in Vietnam because of a bone spur condition in your feet. Do you wish you'd been able to serve? Would you like to have served your country?
Well, I was never a fan of that war, I'll be honest with you. I thought it was a terrible war. I thought it was very far away. Nobody ever, you're talking about Vietnam. And
It was really far away. It was really far away, he says. While he's in England, talking to the English press about Vietnam, he calls it very far away.
at that time, nobody ever heard of the country.
Would you like to serve?
nobody ever heard of the country? People were getting shot on campuses in protest. Nobody ever heard of the country. Come on. You're not playing. Why are you not playing? Oh.
Well, Vietnam, and at that time, nobody ever heard of the country. Today,
Would you like to serve generally, perhaps in another?
I would not have minded that at all. I would have been honored, but I think I'd make up for it right now. I look, $700 billion I gave last year, and then this.
I gave. If you do not think that this man is a narcissistic, I gave, you didn't give shit, dude. You haven't given shit in so long that your taxes are going to show that you haven't given shit in so long that even this tax thing that you did to screw everybody else made you money. Because you make money off of ripping it off from other people. And you ripped it off in our taxes. I gave.
This year, $716 billion. And I think I'm making up for it rapidly because we're rebuilding our military.
Now, Beth, don't con me.
Okay, nothing's getting rebuilt. Nope. No. He's not rebuilding shit. He actually hasn't really done anything. As a matter of fact, he's talked about, actually, believe it or not, he's actually talked about redesigning the ships back to the way they used to be because he has this obsession with steam. See, if it was up to him, we would still have steam railroads with coal being, oh my God. Okay.
For dodging the war, dodging the draft, by increasing the military's budget as president.
That's all I had. I 3 days and America just looks the bigger the fool. I mean, one day. Good luck.
Right, but that's the whole point. You start with what you believe is right, and then you get out there and fight for it.
Joining us now is Chris Hayes, the host of All In with Chris Hayes on this network, who just conducted that town hall in Indiana with Elizabeth Warren. Chris, thank you for sticking around. I know you're on the downswing of your adrenaline right now, and so if you need to pass out live on the air, you just feel free, my friend.
No, I'm good. I've got my jacket off, and it's a little warm in here, but I'm good. You can see the candidate is behind me doing selfies with every last person who is here, which is a Elizabeth Warren town hall policy, I am told.
Wow. So she still has the energy to be doing that after a solid hour fielding questions from everybody in that room and from you.